Hello YouTube, my name is Nero, and today we have some Call of Duty Black Ops 2 and another episode of Dear Nero, which of course is the weekly series here on my channel where subscribers send me in fan mail and or fan questions, and I do my best to answer them. By my count, we are on episode 168, and this is actually going to be the final Dear Nero episode pre-Black Ops 3, so that's definitely kind of a big deal to me. It's like, we're at Black Ops 3 here in just a couple of days, right? It's going to be insane. I'm so excited for it, and as a result, I've been playing a lot of Black Ops 2, and that's why we're going to see Black Ops 2 multiplayer here for the gameplay for this week's episode of Dear Nero. So hopefully you guys will sit back, relax, and enjoy that while we go over this week's questions, which we have a nice little list of them today, so we're going to hop right into it. With the first one, he is going to write, Dear Nero, Black Ops 3, at the time of this writing, is less than 48 hours away from launch. I feel rather excited about the game, along with all the pieces of customization coming along in the multiplayer, and the ranking progress with zombies. However, I feel more excited for the multiplayer, so I'm curious, which aspect of customization are you most excited for in Black Ops 3? Specialist, default camos, gunsmith, or paint shop? Have an excellent day. The Lord of Dragons, Draconian. So, Mr. Draconian, what aspect of customization am I most excited for when it comes to Black Ops 3? I would say the paint shop. I think specialist customization is going to be a big deal. I think that's going to be fun. The gunsmith, I really don't think it's going to be that big of a feature. I really don't. Like, gunsmith, the way they described it is, it appears like, yeah, you're going to be able to put together your own weapon variant, for lack of a better phrase, but you're not going to be able to really change the stats on the weapon. You're just going to be able to take a weapon. Let's say, for example, you're going to take, like, your M8A7, and you're going to take that weapon, and you're going to put your own attachments on it, and then you're going to put your own camo on it, then you're going to name the weapon, then bam, it's like your own variant. I just don't see, like, that's like create a class. It's like an extension of create a class, I suppose. Like, I don't see it being a giant aspect of the game, but I could be entirely wrong. Again, I don't have the game early. I don't know what Gunsmith is going to be like, but just the way they described it doesn't appear to be a big deal. But paint shop mode, I think that's going to be a giant thing. I think paint shop is going to be amazing. I'm really excited to see what I'm going to be able to come up with. I'm excited to see what you guys are going to be able to come up with in the community as a whole. Every weapon via paint shop mode can feel unique. It has the ability, it has the potential to be completely different than any other weapon out there in the game. It's going to make every single weapon feel unique, and I'm excited for that. I'm also excited to see, like, the guides and the tutorials that people are going to be doing on YouTube to make the coolest looking stuff possible and whatnot. You see in a lot of my guns in Black Ops 2, I have the Borderlands vault symbol on a lot of my weapons, and I think that would be cool. Like, I'm going to put together a Borderlands camo, I'm going to put together a snow camo, I'm going to put together this and that, and it's just, I'm excited for paint shop mode. I'm excited to see what I'm going to come up with, and again, I'm excited to see what the rest of the COD community is going to be able to come up with, you know, while you're playing Search and Destroy, and you're spectating other people, and you're seeing, like, what they did to their weapons and stuff. It's going to be really cool. I think paint shop mode is one of the coolest aspects of Call of Duty Black Ops 3, and I am totally excited to get my hands on that for the first time. Really, I mean, I didn't experiment with it too much during the beta. It was there, of course, in the beta, but I didn't experiment with it too much because I knew that it was a beta, and as a result, all my progress was going to be basically mute and disappear after the end of the beta, so I didn't experiment too much with it, but I'm going to go whole hog, I think, with it when the game actually comes out. I'm definitely excited to try out paint shop mode and see what kind of camos I, as well as the rest of the community, can actually come up with. Next question. This one seems to be a bit more serious. It's not necessarily Call of Duty related. He's going to write, Dear Nero, so I need some advice. Ever since I was born, I have always eaten through a tube, and Thanksgiving is on the way. I don't know what to do. If I have dinner with my family, I just sit there and talk to family members, but at the same time, I feel awkward being the only one just sitting there. So what do you think I should do? Do I sit at the dinner table and just feel awkward, or do I do something else and regret my decision? Joey from North Carolina. Joey, I actually was not aware that feeding tubes were necessarily like a thing that teenagers or people around that age can actually have. When you think of feeding tubes, or at least when I think of feeding tubes, I typically think of infants, or I think of the elderly. I actually wasn't aware that it was kind of common, or at least somewhat common, for teenagers or young adults, or even just people in full-on adulthood to use feeding tubes, but it definitely happens for one reason or another. And what do I think you should do about this? I think you should just own it, right? This is part of you. You can't let yourself be ashamed by the fact that you have a feeding tube. If you let yourself feel ashamed by it, then it kind of controls you, but this is part of who you are. There's no reason to feel ashamed by it. You can't control it. That's something that happened to you. It is part of your life, and you're going to Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is a holiday that's all about giving thanks, being thankful for what you have, as well as to a lesser extent, it's about eating a lot of food, and it's about watching football, right? At least in most families, that's what it's like in my family. But I think your family is definitely thankful that you're there. I don't think you should feel awkward about the fact that you have to eat through a tube, because your family knows that. It's not like it's not like you had like an accident earlier this year and it's like just sprung on them. Like it just happened last week and now you're going to be going to Thanksgiving this year and people are like, whoa, this is weird. He has a feeding tube. No, you said this has been happening your whole life. You've been eating through a tube ever since you were born. And as a result of that, your family's well aware that you eat through a tube. It's kind of commonplace. I remember when this is it's somewhat related, I suppose. My brother has asthma. It's gotten a lot better since he's gotten older, and that's usually the case with a lot of people. But when he was born, he had asthma really badly. When he was younger, we had to bring a nebulizer with us basically everywhere we went, just in case he would need it. And if you guys have either had asthma before or know somebody who has asthma, a nebulizer is like basically this machine that like puts out oxygen, and you basically have to breathe it through a tube a little bit for a set period of time. It's a loud machine. It makes a lot of noise. It's very okay, here's this nebulizer. It's very obvious if somebody's using a nebulizer. You can Google what nebulizer looks like. It's a machine. It's a loud machine that basically puts in like this medicinal air essentially into the lungs of the person that has asthma. It helps them breathe a little bit better. It's kind of like a medication, right? And nobody like felt awkward that my brother had to use a nebulizer when he was younger. Nobody felt that. It's part of him, right? He was born with asthma. He needs to treat his asthma. You were born with whatever, you didn't go into the specifics, but you were born with whatever condition is forcing you to have to eat through a tube. And your family understands that, and they love you unconditionally for it. So you shouldn't feel ashamed by it. You should sit there with your family, and you should discuss things with your family, and you should just enjoy the holiday for what it is. And that's about being thankful for the people in your lives and the things that have happened to you in your life. And yeah, I don't think you should be ashamed by it. I think you should totally own it. And hopefully that you take that advice to heart, Joey. And hopefully you have a happy Thanksgiving, because I hope you do. Let's hop on to another question here, because I thought that one was kind of serious, but I think it was a good question to answer. Because if you guys have anything that as part of your life that maybe you feel ashamed about, don't feel ashamed about it. Just own it. Don't let it control you. Let it just become a part of you. And I hope everybody just takes that to heart. I hope everybody realizes that there's certain things in our lives that we can't change, and that you shouldn't feel ashamed by those things. But let's hop into another question here. It's going to be a bit more gaming, a bit more YouTube related, a bit of a lighter note. He's going to write, Dear Nero, what do you consider to be the worst thing about your occupation? You have a pretty cool job, but there must be something that you don't look forward to when it comes to creating content for YouTube. This question occurred to me because a few months ago I started my own YouTube channel, and I always find it a chore to make thumbnails. It's trivial, I know, but for some reason it bores me to make attractive thumbnails. I wonder if it's the same with big YouTubers. Keep up the great work, Nero. El Pintor from Tennessee. So El Pintor, thank you first and foremost for the question. Considering me to be a big YouTuber, I feel as though I'm kind of middle of the road at this point in my YouTube career, but thank you for the kind words. What is my least favorite aspect about YouTube? It is an amazing job, like you mentioned, but there definitely are some downsides. I would say one of the biggest things for me is writer's block. I have difficulty sometimes making videos because I've made so many videos over the course of my YouTube career here that sometimes it's difficult to come up with new ideas. Sometimes I wake up and I'm feeling creative, I'm feeling inspired, and things are just good to go. I'm making videos, bam, 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 things are good. But then there's other days where you wake up and you're just not feeling inspired, right? You're kind of feeling blah. You have this writer's block where your head feels cloudy and you can't think straight, and you're just having difficulty putting stuff together in your head. And so as a result of that, it's hard to make videos when that happens. And kind of the same thing happens for thumbnails. You say it's a very boring thing to make thumbnails. Some people think that, yeah, sure. For me personally, I like making thumbnails for the most part, but sometimes I have difficulty with a thumbnail to the point where I'll spend more time trying to put together a thumbnail than I will have actually been making the video that I'm making the thumbnail for. Like sometimes I love putting together thumbnails. It's kind of like an artsy kind of thing. Like, oh, cool, I'm going to put this stuff here, I'm going to put this here, I'm going to make this look really cool, And then other times it's like, I can't think of a good looking thumbnail. Like you have an idea in your head and you'll try putting it together, then you realize you either can't put it together, or you'll realize that, oh, that looks like crap, I should redo it, or I changed around a few things, then you end up spending a ton of time just making a thumbnail. But overall, YouTube is amazing. I love it. My least favorite aspect of it would be writer's block. It's a weird place to be because most people when they go to their job they have a set quota of things that they need to do. If you work a white collar job, then typically you're going to you're going to go in there, you're going to answer calls, you're going to work on the project that you're assigned to, you're going to do whatever it is that you're supposed to do. You work a blue collar job, like people on my dad's side of the family, like not everybody obviously, but there's a lot of loggers on my dad's side of the family. You go out there into the woods, you know what you're going to do that day. You're going to take down trees, you're going to drag them out there, you're going to chop them up. That's what you do, right? But when you're a YouTuber and when you're working in kind of like this creative space, same thing goes for people in other occupations that kind of like have the same idea. But if your entire occupation, your entire livelihood is based upon how creative you can be and how entertaining that you can be, it's sometimes stressful in that respect, and sometimes you get writer's block, and it's definitely the worst aspect of it because you're kind of reliant on being creative, and some days it's hard to be creative. Next question, he is going to write, Dear Nero, I am super excited for Black Ops 3, and the thing I am most excited for is the new specialists, because I didn't get to play the beta, and I have not yet experienced them. So, for fun, I've been thinking of specialists that, if I were making the game, I would put in. If you were making the game, what would your specialist name, weapon, and ability be? From Ethan. So, Ethan, this is a fun question, right? And I want everybody to participate. Yes, you listening to this, maybe not some of you, there's some of you guys out there that download this from SoundCloud, but if you guys want to download, Dear Nero or the weekly vlog series I do, Sunday sit-downs, you go to soundcloud.com/NerosCinema. You can download episodes of that the day after that they are released for free if you would like to listen to this stuff on your mobile devices and whatnot. But the majority of you guys are watching this on a phone. You're watching it on a tablet, you're watching it on your computer, so you have the ability to comment, and I want you guys to all answer this for me in the comment section below. Yes, you, everybody, I would love to see this. What are you going to name your specialist? If you could make your own specialist, what would you name him? What would his weapon be, and what would his ability be, right? I want you guys to answer that for me in the comments. I think it would be totally interesting to go through and read what you guys come up with. So my specialist is going to be Nero, of course, and my weapon. What weapon do I want for Nero? I'm actually going to draw inspiration from Borderlands the pre-sequel with the Vault Hunter Claptrap. If you guys have played that game, when you use your Vault Hunter, your special ability in that game, Claptrap has like a set number of like 5 or 6 or maybe 7 different abilities that he can use, and it's random. So you don't know which one of those 7 you're going to end up getting. And I want the same thing to happen for my Nero specialist in Black Ops 3. So my weapon, I want to be one of 4 random weapons. And those 4 weapons are going to be a double barrel shotgun. It could be a Kimbo Thompson submachine guns. It could be an unscoped Mosin Nagant, or it could be an AK-47. But keep in mind, these weapons are of course going to be more powerful than normal weapons to kind of make them feel unique. They're going to have like their own custom Nero skin on them. That way they feel unique. That way you would actually want to use them, right? So this is going to be a double barrel shotgun that has a pretty good range, like really good range. That's also going to reload very quickly, but you're going to have kind of a limited number of shots with it. You're going to have a limited number of time with it, of course, as well. When you pull out the Akimbo Thompson submachine guns, they're going to be more powerful than your typical submachine gun, and therefore it's actually going to make you want to use them. The unscoped Mosin Nagant, for example, is going to basically be a one-shot kill no matter what. It's going to have crazy penetration, so it'd be very easy to pick up collaterals and triples and whatnot. The AK-47 would just be a very powerful AK-47. Maybe it would have a giant magazine, something along those lines. I don't know, but I think it'd be fun to have a weapon that would be kind of a random weapon that you're not sure what would happen with it. I think that would be fun. Obviously, it would make it so Nero wouldn't be very viable in competitive play, but still, I think it would be fun to have kind of a random weapon come out. And as for my ability, this is going to be something that none of the other specialists in Black Ops 3 that we saw from the beta anyway have, but I would like to have a passive ability. And this passive ability, which means it's always happening, it's essentially going to be an extra perk, is you can't be one-shot by a sniper rifle. I would love that ability because I despise, probably more than I should, like it's something that really gets me. I hate dying to snipers. I hate being sniped. It's so annoying. And so for me personally, I would love a passive ability, I would choose it. It would be my ability for my specialist where I cannot be one-shot by a sniper rifle. So for example, let me lay out a situation for you. Let's say I'm at 1% health. Like I just took 2 grenades and I am like I'm knocked on death's door. I'm right about to die. And then a sniper sees me and they aim in and they shoot at me. They would not be able to one-shot kill me. Like it would essentially do no damage to me whatsoever because I cannot be one-shot by that sniper whatsoever. Now, if that same sniper were to shoot at me again, then I would die. But basically, it would make it so every time a sniper were to shoot at me for the first time, I would give them a hit marker, right? They'd get a hit marker on me. That would be my passive ability. Basically, I can't be one-shot by a sniper rifle. I haven't thought too much about it. I haven't gone into too much detail as to how that would work, because I'm sure there's a lot of situations I would have to account for, but overall, I would like an ability to make it so I can't be one-shot killed by a sniper rifle. I think a lot of people would like that, because it's super annoying to be sniped. And for my weapon, I would like to have a random weapon. I would like it to be, a double-barrel shotgun, a Kimbo Tommy guns, a non-scoped Mosin Nagant, or an AK-47, something along those lines. I think it would be pretty cool to have those come out as my weapon. And so let me know in the comments, what would you guys do if you guys can make your own specialist? What would your specialist name, weapon, and ability be? Let me know about that down there in the comment section below. Next question, he is going to write, Dear Nero, in this week's Sunday sit down, you talked about making videos with your nephew in the future, but I was wondering, will you ever do a video with your brother? I know he has been on a couple Borderlands playthroughs on Nero's Let's Plays, but I wanted to see if you would do a video on NerosCinema. Thanks, Michael from the Music City. So, Michael, I would never rule out any video as from a possibility. I think it's totally possible that my brother and I could do a video here on NerosCinema in the future. You never know. But right now, there's really no immediate plans. My brother actually isn't much of a Call of Duty player. He was back in the day, like he would play a lot of Call of Duty. And even right now, he's randomly into PC gaming. So he's been playing Modern Warfare 2 and Fallout New Vegas on the PC. Like, it's like 2009 to this guy, right? So he's playing these older games on the PC, but he's kind of like enjoying it because he always thought Modern Warfare 2 was like his favorite Call of Duty. He loves playing Modern Warfare 2. And so he plays that on the PC because it's not modded as much, because on the console, obviously, there's lots of mods. People are one-man army, danger close, grenade launching, YouTube douches, and, obviously all the problems that come with Modern Warfare 2 on the console. Apparently, it's not like that as much on the PC, and so he's been playing that, and of course, he's very excited for Fallout 4, and so as a result, he's been playing Fallout New Vegas to kind of get ready for that. And do I see myself making a video with him? Maybe in the future, we'll have to see. He's definitely going to be getting Black Ops 3. He's excited for Black Ops 3, but again, I just don't know if I'm ever going to make a video with him. It just comes down to what kind of video would I want to make? Would it actually work? And also, I think it'd be very interesting because we sound very similar. And so if I were to get him mic'd up, right, if I were to give him a proper microphone for a video, I think we would sound very similar. And I think it'd be very off-putting to a lot of people. So that would be pretty fun, I think. But I would never rule it out of the realm of possibility. I just don't have any immediate plans doing videos with my brother. The same way I don't have any immediate plans to ever really do collaborations, right? Because it all comes down to the other person. It all comes down to what kind of video we want to put together and stuff like that. So it's not out of the realm of possibility, but don't expect it anytime soon. Next question, he is going to write, Dear Nero, I was just wondering, where did you get your name on YouTube? I bet you're asked this all the time, but I can never find an answer. Any response is appreciated. Hope you have a wonderful day. Cameron from Canada. So Cameron, I've actually answered this question a number of times, but viewers come, viewers go. There's always a new influx of people that don't know the backstory as to why my name is Nero and why my channel name is NerosCinema. So I'm always more than happy to answer that question for people that don't know the answer to it. So how I came up with Nero, and it goes all the way back to my first ever gamer tag. So I was getting Xbox Live and I was excited for it. And I was thinking ahead of time, like, what should my gamer tag be? I wanted to have a cool gamer tag, and I spent a lot of time trying to think of a very cool name, something unique. I didn't want it to just be my name or something like that, like a lot of people do when they first start. I wanted it to be something cool. And at the time, which roughly this was 2006, 2007-ish, when I first got Xbox Live, I was very into wrestling. I was very into WWE wrestling at the time. Since then, I haven't paid attention to it. I haven't paid attention to wrestling in 5 years or so, something along those lines. But at the time, I was very into it, and Jeff Hardy was my favorite wrestler. And his full name, if you guys will know, is Jeffrey Nero Hardy. His middle name is Nero. I thought that was the coolest name ever. I'm like, Nero, that's so unique. That is so amazing, And so I made that my gamer tag. My first ever gamer tag ever was Nero 10, because obviously Nero was taken. And so Nero 10, because 10 was one of my favorite numbers. I have a number of favorite numbers. I like the number 7. I like the number 10. I like the number 17 a lot. Those are probably my 3 favorite numbers. And so I went with Nero 10. That was my first ever gamer tag. And ever since then, I've always kind of went by Nero online because it's a unique name. You don't see a lot of people with the name Nero online. I think that's cool. I like that aspect of it. And yes, I've always went with Nero when I was making kind of like an online name anywhere, where I signed up for a website or wherever, I need to make an account or something. My name always had Nero in it of some sort. And how they come up with NerosCinema? Well, in 2011, I remember the exact date. It was July 2nd, 2011. you can find that on my YouTube channel. It'll tell you the day the channel was created. But when I made my YouTube channel, I wanted to have Nero in it, obviously, but I wasn't sure what else to go with. You know, obviously Nero was taken. It's too original of a name for youtube.com/Nero not to be taken. So I had to make it something else with Nero in it. I ended up going with NerosCinema because at the time there was a number of channels out there who had cinema in their name. The most prominent one I think was Hazard Cinema, and I liked the name Cinema. Like, I thought it sounded cool. I thought it sounded classy. I'm like, NerosCinema, I like that name, you know? And so the rest, I suppose, is history. I made NerosCinema back in July of 2011, and I've been making videos on it ever since. And again, every time I make anything online, I typically have the name Nero in there somewhere, just because I think it's a cool name. I think it's a unique name, and I've kind of always went by Nero, at least in the online world. So yeah, I suppose that's the backstory for both my online name as well as my channel name. So hopefully that answers a lot of questions for you guys out there. Next and final question, he is going to write, Dear Nero, are you going to get Fallout 4? And if so, will you be doing a Let's Play of it on Nero's Let's Plays? Arkenlock from Michigan. So Arkenlock, I have thrown around the idea of doing a Fallout 4 Let's Play. I'm obviously getting the game. I'm totally going to be getting the game. I'm very excited for it. It's coming out on the 10th, though, which I think is kind of a rough time for them to put out the game, because I think we're all going to be so invested, or at least I'm going to be so invested in Black Ops 3 that I may have to put Fallout 4 on the back burner. And so as a result, I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing a Fallout 4 Let's Play. I may do it, but I may do it at a later date. I don't know. Like, am I going to be doing the Let's Play right when it starts? I don't know. Another part of me thinks, would I enjoy Fallout more if I were to not do a Let's Play? Because if you're not doing a Let's Play, you can really take your time with it. You know, you can take your time to explore, like, the starting area, you know, for an hour and a half if you would like to. Whereas if you're doing a Let's Play, you're thinking to yourself, yeah, I should probably move along here. I don't want this to become boring. I don't want to just, you know, hang out in one area exploring and looking for stuff and whatnot. I should probably continue on with the story or whatever. Maybe I would enjoy it more if I wasn't doing a Let's Play of it. And so as a result, maybe I'll play through it kind of on my own time and then do a proper full Let's Play of it later on, like a second playthrough or something like that. We'll have to see. I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing with it. I'm totally going to be getting it the day it comes out. I'm going to be getting it on the PC, because I feel so that's going to be the best place to play. I'm going to be able to play in like the highest resolution, highest graphics possible. I'm going to be playing it, but I'm thinking I may play it on my own time, and then later on, like maybe in December or something like that, when like Black Ops 3 is kind of toned down a little bit, maybe doing a proper full Let's Play of it then. We'll have to see. But I'm totally getting the game. I'm totally excited for it. I've never actually been a big fan of the Fallout series. Like, I tried New Vegas, but I couldn't get into it because the game felt really, really dated, and I had a tough time getting into it. But Fallout New Vegas, I think, is a perfect time for people like me who are interested in the Fallout universe to actually try to get into it and actually play through the game, and I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be very fun, and I know a lot of you guys are excited for it as well. So, I mean, it's such a good week, guys. You're going to have Black Ops 3, and then right behind it, you're going to have Fallout 4 coming out, and then it seems like an amazing time of the year for video games. If you're a gamer, this is definitely going to be a pretty good year. I think 2015 is one of the better years for gaming for sure. And I'm definitely looking forward to all the games that are going to be coming out, but most notably Black Ops 3, which is just a couple of days away. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys all enjoyed this episode of Dear Nero, and if you did, remember to leave a rating where you guys feel the video deserves. And if you guys would like to go ahead and submit your questions for next week's episode of Dear Nero, and yes, we will be doing an episode next week, as usual. Even though Black Ops 3 is out, we're all just going to be freaking buried in Black Ops 3 videos. We're definitely going to be doing Dear Nero next week as well. If you guys would like to submit your questions for that episode, feel free to do so. And how you go about doing that is just go to my YouTube channel, and from there you'll find the About section, and from there you can find a Send Message button, and then from there just submit your question for next week's episode of Dear Nero. I would just like to mention that you should try to preface your question with Dear Nero. That way when I'm scrolling through all my questions next week, I can find the ones that were specifically sent for Dear Nero as compared to ones that may have been sent for other reasons. So go ahead and do that. I hope you guys all enjoyed the video. Remember to leave a rating, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.